Oh, hello. Welcome to another video. Because Kill Team Soul Shackle is going on pre-order. So the box itself is going to pre-order on Saturday the 11th of February, and it will be in your hands Saturday the 18th of February. This was announced today over on Warhammer Community. You can see the full box shop there. A couple of things that I want to point out. Check out the chalk outline decal. I don't know if you're actually going to put that on your board, right? It's kind of silly, but it's kind of funny and awesome at the same time. So, thought I'd mention that. This looks to me to be a new cardboard board, slightly different with stairs and some different lights on. So that's interesting as well. Otherwise, I don't think there's that much to see here. We've kind of gone over everything to do with this set already based on the previews. The Arbites. So it's 10 men and a dog in the set. It's not immediately clear whether you'll get to use all 10 and a dog. It could easily be it's a 10-man team and you have to choose, do you want the Pokemon or do you want an extra trooper? We've seen that before. It could even be a 6-man team or an 8-man team for all we know. But the base team is not going to be more than a box full. We also get a much clearer, I think this is the first really clear image we've had of the grenade launcher, so that's nice to see. Okay, nice shot of the grenade launcher there. But yeah, and it looks like this might well be, like, if we assume that this is a legal team, this would be your team layout, and they've given us 2 gunners and the sniper, which is interesting, so it does kind of point towards the fact that we might be getting 2 gunners and a sniper, and presumably you could trade this shotgun guy out for a shield guy, because he's missing from this picture. He was the 12th model that was shown off, right? So, but other than that, this looks to be the team. Again, not much to add, because we've already done a really deep sort of overview of what we can learn from the models. But I think it is likely that we'll get 2 gunners and a sniper, or 3 gunners with the sniper in the gunner pool. Not sure which way it will go. Yeah. The Dark Eldar. So, very little to add here about Dark Eldar at all. They did name drop the Elixiant as one of the specialists. So there are 2 specialists we don't know the name of. The Pseudo-Rack here and the Baby Homunculi here. I would say the Elixiant is likely to be Baby Homunculi with his elixirs that he's loading into his gun. Not particularly interesting, but I think basically everything else we wanted to know about this team we already worked out from the previews, right? Separate teams. So we're finally getting the boxes for Kazakin, Imperial Navy Breaches, the Farstar Kimband, and the Haritech Circle. Really great for the game that these are coming out. It was really, people were starting to worry, like, oh, Crew and Navy still haven't come out. Are we not getting separate boxes? Like, what's going on? It's also good because Kazakin and Navy kind of needed a second box. Like with Kazakin, you've got 2 gunner options that you probably want to roster for different games. And with Navy, like some Navy players, the ones that don't like to use the Pokemon, will argue that the second box for Navy is as mandatory as it is for Vanguard, because they want to run 12 Navy Breaches with no, as I say, little Pokemon, with no robot or server skull, right? So the Haritech Circle and the Crew, less so. I imagine 40k players will want loads of Crew. Haritech Circle, it will just be people that missed the big box, that wanted to pick that up separately. The other 3, though, I can see really flying off the shelves and being in short supply with one thing or another. These 2 for 40k, and this one just because of how important it is for the Navy players, and also because I think these are probably quite good in boarding patrol for 40k as well, perhaps. Not so sure how good they are, but they could be. Separate books, not much to add, but yeah, we're getting the separate books as well, so if you didn't miss them the first time and you want to pick up the books, that's great. I know I run a Wargames club, and the 1 or 2 of the kids that actually are seriously into Kill Team, they do end up buying the separate stuff because they don't have the money to buy a huge set, at random times. It's not Christmas or birthday when it just releases, so it's great that they can go and buy the rules if that's what they want to do. That's good. Separate terrain. So this is a bit confusing. I was pretty sure we weren't going to see another repack of the Into the Dark terrain, like the core walls and doors. But here it is. So this is Killzone Gallowdark, just by looking at the picture on the box, it looks like we're getting the narrative sprue from Into the Dark. So this box is all the terrain from Into the Dark, right? So it's not just half of the 40k boarding patrol set, it's half the 40k boarding patrol set plus the extra sprue where you get these generator things and these little barricadey scattery pieces as well, right? So like this little thing that sticks out over here. So it's got that narrative sprue from the first Kill Team box. And the Shadow Vault narrative sprue is going to be available separately. Really interestingly, I did notice that in Arcs of Omen Angron, the 40k boarding patrol book that's gone on pre-order yesterday, there are going to be rules in there, in those missions, for the terrain that comes on the narrative sprue that's in this box, in the Gallowdark box. And we know that there are 5 books in that series, so I would not be surprised if the remaining 3 books in those series contain... So the next one contains rules for the Shadow Vault's terrain, right? And then the one after that contains rules for the Soul Shackle terrain, and then the last one will contain rules for the Gallowfall terrain. I think that sounds quite possible as well. So this is going to appeal to 40k players who are quite completionist and want all the options for that little sort of sub-game as well. It'll be really interesting to watch the pricing on these, because I would argue that there's probably going to be a lot of this stuff sloshing around on eBay. I know a lot of Kill Team players who only play, who don't care about, if you don't care about boarding patrol and you only play tournament games of Kill Team, or like all your games are basically match play games, I know a lot of them have already been putting their narrative terrain on eBay, and then they're buying all the boxes and putting their spare terrain from the boxes on eBay. So if you want this stuff, I would just check the secondary market first. But it is good that it's coming out, because the people who are going to want it and buy it off the shelf in Games Workshop probably aren't the people who would have thought to go on eBay, right? Because again, it's people who just want to get into the game and have an easy entry point and not be told, oh, actually, yeah, you want to get into the art, you'll get that terrain much cheaper online on eBay. Like, maybe they don't want to get embroiled with eBay, they just want to buy the box and get on their way. So it is good that it's come out in really clear branded stuff to get people into playing Into the Dark. But yeah, for people who are engaged enough to be watching this video, I would look on eBay first. Facebook groups, Discord, trading rooms, that kind of thing. Dice. Do you want some dice? 4 dice packs. So the Kroot dice were delayed, I think, at some point alongside the Breacher dice. Like, they didn't come out with the initial box. I have to say, I much prefer the palette they're using for the Exaction Squad and the Hand of the Archon. Like, I actually quite like the black dice with the orange logos on. I don't like these kind of black-orange swirl dice. They don't look good to me at all. I actually quite like the Arbites dice. I think they look really nice. If I tell my wife that I want to buy them, she's going to make a face, because they'll be about £20 plus, right? For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 dice, which, in fairness, is a bit much. But they are clearly the nicest dice out of those 4, not least because the Arbites have got, like, it's an iconic classic logo that's actually a logo, not just somebody's head. All the others have somebody's head. I really don't like these Kroot dice. Really look stupid. Do Kroot can really not have like a? Is it not like a logo, like an emblem that signifies Kroot, rather than being like a comic book drawing of a Kroot face? Like, no. But the Arbite ones, they appeal to me potentially. And not Kill Team, but these are cool, and they are the perfect complement to Navy Breachers. I was going to wait for these to come out before I built my Breachers. I still haven't built my Breachers, so I may buy these and put some Breachers on them. I think they look really good for the Breachers that should be on the ships, you know, doing those things. Most people that care about their Breachers, though, have not wanted to wait for these bases to come out and already built their Breachers, right? So maybe a slightly mistimed release, but I think it is a really cool set. Far more bases than you need for your Breachers, right? Like 50-something bases. But they're cool. You could also use them for an intended purpose of making your boarding patrol in 40k, but then if I play boarding patrol in 40k, I'm going to take my boarding patrol out of my larger army, and I'm not going to want a segment of my larger army on these little funny bases, right? I want to talk about Element Games, not just to try and persuade you to buy from there to give me money. I need to have a proper conversation on this. Like, I love Element Games. They are genuinely a really good shop, and they are local to where my in-laws live, and I've been there in person many times as well. And as you know, I get a 5% kickback when you shop from Element Games using the link down in the description. And it does really help the channel, especially when a new Kill Team box comes out. Like, the income that generates is pretty significant. I think that the Kill Team boxes and the Horus Heresy big box are made, tens of pounds, which is quite nice for me as a little kickback. But I cannot just uncomplicatedly say, oh yeah, please put your order at Element Games, because as much respect as I have for Element Games and as much as I like them as a company, GW are being turnips, absolute turnips, when it comes to supplying limited release pre-orders to third parties. I know a lot of people missed out on Shadow Vault because they pre-ordered from stores and then that store didn't get as many as they thought they would, and they didn't get the pre-order and this, that and the other. And so it would be wrong of me, right, just to say, oh yeah, order from Element Games, and not point out that paying the full RRP from GamesWorkshop.com is the best way to ensure that you actually get a box. It shouldn't be this way. Games Workshop are being very turnip adjacent about this, right? They make more money if they sell direct. You're getting 15-25% off, right? Because Element are not paying retail, they're paying a trade rate, and then they can knock this much off and still make a profit, right? Which tells me that Games Workshop are making like 30% plus more selling direct to the consumer from their website than they are by selling to Element Games. So of course they're going to hold more back for their own website, right? It is a bit of an annoying business practice. And so I cannot, absolutely nothing Element Games have done wrong. I cannot just uncomplicatedly say, oh yes, order from them though. Consider ordering from Games Workshop if you're really desperate to get a box on release day, and you'll be gutted if you don't get it. I would hate for anyone to say, well, I ordered from Element, they let me down, and it's your fault. Like, it wouldn't be Element's fault. Games Workshop are just at the moment being really irritating about that. But if you decide to go third party, if you're like, no, I'm not paying full price, that's daft, I want 15% off, 25% off, if you decide to go third party, then please do consider Element Games. It does help the channel. But yeah, you have to make that call, right? Are you going to give Games Workshop the extra 25% for your own peace of mind, or are you going to risk it potentially for the saving and risk the disappointment? And I am grappling with this genuinely. I don't have the answer. I am grappling with this myself. Do I want to pre-order from Element and save what is a reasonable amount of money, or do I want to order it from Games Workshop and have much more of a guarantee that the box will be here? Really tough. Really, really tough. Let me know in the comments if you have thoughts on this situation, right? Right, final thoughts. Are you pre-ordering, and where from? I'm sorry if this video is really low energy. I feel awful. I'm really, really not well. I've done like 4 COVID tests. It's not COVID, but it could be. I'm just so, hopefully you can't hear it, I'm just so congested in my head. Like, it's so, my sinuses are just packed out. I'm so tired. All I've done this weekend, bearing in mind it was my wife's birthday yesterday, I didn't go out and celebrate my wife's birthday, didn't get to church this morning, I've just sat on my seat. I've been playing Skyrim, which I know I said, I made a video ages ago, oh, you can tell when I'm having a bad, it's bad for my mental health to sit and play video games. Honestly, viewer, it's all I can manage to, do. Because I do not feel well. I do not know if I'll be, at this point, I do not know if I'll be going into work tomorrow, because I really do feel, you ever had I don't want to go on, but have you ever had a sinus thing to the point where when you stand up you get really dizzy because there's a lot of fluid in your head going, rrr. So yeah, there's that. So that's why there's no video, because nobody wants to see me right now. So yeah, hopefully I recover in time for Warhammer World in a week, because I'm supposed to be driving to Nottingham on Friday for Warhammer World, going to Warhammer World, coming back, and then on Sunday afternoon I'm going on holiday for a week. So hopefully I am still doing all those things. Right, who can say? Alright guys, well I've rambled on for nearly 15 minutes. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, assuming you watch this when it comes out, or the rest of whatever day you are in when you watch it. Bye bye. Bye bye bye. Bye bye bye. Cheerio, folks. Bye bye.